Close the deal, I am the destroyer. I am the chosen lawyer. Training hard to knock them to the floor. I am the chosen lawyer.
Welcome back to the Chosen Life podcast. I am not your host. I'm Elena Saradidis. And today, Jonathan Hacohen, who is our real host, is going to tell us all about the topic we're going to discuss today.
That's a great intro. I should just get you to do all my intros.
No problem.
That'd be fantastic.
Put me on the list.
Absolutely. Elena Saradidis, welcome back to the Chosen Life podcast.
Thank you for having me.
You're, I think, a third or fourth time guest now. It's been great having you. You just give us so much insights on real estate and life and success. And we're going to be filming the next few weeks and we're going to be having a lot of fun. You all set?
I'm ready.
Let's do this. All right. Today's topic. I get asked this all the time by to-be clients, former clients, people who are investing, people who are going to be living in the properties of primary residences. They're like, Jonathan, help me. Do I buy a house or a condo? All the time, the house versus condo debate rages on. Today, we're going to solve it for people and steer them. Is it right for them to go house or condo? What do you think?
Well, my answer is going to be it depends. Don't you love that answer?
You should have been a lawyer.
I could have. The reason why it depends is because, first off, what is your budget? What can you actually afford? And that will dictate your decision. Maybe a house in the location that you're looking in isn't possible at your budget. And then that tells you got to go the condo route. So price point will dictate house or condo first. If you're like, I can afford a house or I can afford a condo, then you look at lifestyle. What kind of lifestyle do you have? Are you someone that likes to lock up and travel a lot? Then a condo might make more sense because you lock it up and you leave and it's more safe. Or if you're someone that's like, I just want my peace and quiet, I want my backyard, then you're going to lean towards a house. If you have pets, you might lean towards a house. So the debate really is, what is your lifestyle? And then how do we tailor that into what decision you make? Well, there's no right or wrong answer.
I agree. There is no right or wrong answer because it all depends. And there's so many forms of houses, so many forms of condos. No two condos are really alike. You start going to different parts of the city. It can go on and on. And so one of the first items, somebody new to real estate, not familiar at all. They said, I've heard of condos. I get the whole thing. Like I go in the elevator and I got my own space. What the heck are common expenses, maintenance fees? That really throws them for a loop. And the debate of the common expenses fees versus I don't have to do much to the place.
Okay, but condo maintenance fees, you're paying them every month. They could be higher, they could be lower. But when you're looking to buy, that's the debate you're going to take. Like, do I buy a place that has higher maintenance fees or do I buy a place with lower maintenance fees? Usually lower wins out, but you get more square footage with the other option. What I would tell people is this. With a house, there's still maintenance, but the bills can come up at any time. So your roof is shot. Now you need a new roof. Your window's cracked. Now you need a new window. Your whatever. Like there's certain expenses that people are not budgeting because it's later on and they're like, we'll just deal with it when it comes. But in a condo, you pay for it every month. And eventually if something happens or something breaks, most of the time the condominium corporation takes care of it.
Well, and that's where in the common expenses, maintenance fees, part of it is for day-to-day, week-to-week operations. You know, they're hiring people sometimes as security in the building. They're paying their accountants, the lawyers, to put the lights on in the common areas, general servicing, contracts. List can go on and on for the general stuff. But also part of the money goes into a side fund, the reserve fund, right? So that when something big comes up, like the roof is going to collapse, we need new elevators, major expenses, that we don't just come to all the owners and say, hey, roof collapsed, everybody pony up $2,000, $5,000. It's like, hey, we're all putting away little bits of money every single month from the common expenses. So one day when something comes up, oh, wow, we have $2 million in the reserve fund. We have $3 million in the reserve fund. This is where when I tell people to buy a house as first-time buyers, you understand how condos work with the maintenance fees and the reserve fund. People should create their own reserve funds if they're going to a house because wouldn't it be nice something happens to my house? Oh, wow, I got $200,000 sitting in a reserve fund. But nobody does it.
No one operates that way. The other thing about condos is if you lean towards condos, you should try not to buy anything with maintenance fees over $1 a square foot because it will be harder for you to resell in the future. And there's no amount of maintenance fees that you're like, if I bought a house, it would exceed that bill. Like I'm a condo kid. I grew up in a condo. My parents' maintenance fees just jumped 4% this year. And now they're over $1 a square foot. And they freaked out. And they freaked out because they're paying they're paying basically $1,000 a month for this condo. And they know my bills for a house and it's 500. So they're like, why are we paying $1,000 when your bills for a whole house is 500 bucks? So that's where it kind of gets it puts you in a tough position if the maintenance fees are too high, because there is a portion of it that, yes, you need to pay it to operate the building. But if the building doesn't have a lot of units, maintenance fees go up. If it takes up a lot of land and doesn't have a lot of units, maintenance fees will go up. So buildings and this is the tale a lot of people tell, is buildings with a lot of units, a lot of amenities, sometimes have lower maintenance fees than buildings that are very small, that have no amenities. So just be careful when you're shopping on that perspective if you are budget cautious.
And this is where I think for a lot of buyers, they may fall in love with a building from the outside, but if they don't work with an experienced realtor and lawyer and helping them through the process to select the right building for them and going through the status certificate, they could get majorly burned, because it may be nice window dressing outside, but turns out it's an older building. They've had a lot of foundational issues, for example, and it just doesn't make sense for them. They know that there'll be constant costs increasing versus some older buildings where it was built very well. It's been progressing steadily over the years. They've done constant maintenance. The reserve fund's been kept at a very good loop. They've never had a special assessment. This is where I'm saying no two buildings are really equal, because in the whole assessment of it, it's not just about the building and the square footage and the layout. You're married with a whole bunch of other owners you're going to business with them. You'd like to know if your business is operating well or not. Really.
100%. So I think that's the conversation with, if you are a first time buyer, if you want to get a condo or a house and you're debating between the two, take a hard look at your budget and then your lifestyle. And then that will lead you to what makes the most amount of sense. Location can't really be changed. So there's only a certain number of opportunities in certain locations. So look at the budget, look at your must-have list, look at the location, and see kind of what you can get. If you are a repeat buyer or an investor, my answer kind of changes.
Okay. So if you're a repeat buyer, repeat investor, so you've owned, let's say, 3 different homes in your life, maybe you own a couple investment properties as well, and they're coming to you and saying, I'm looking at getting the next property. Should I invest in condos? Should I invest in houses? Still going to be kind of depends.
I'm going to get murdered for this one. This is what I would say. I like condos for the perspective of you're trading up into the market until you can get the type of property that you want to end up in. And maybe you want to end up in a condo, and that's completely okay. I would have ended up in a condo if I wasn't with Dan. That's a fact. I would have stayed in a condo.
That's her lovely fiance, by the way. Hi,
Yeah.
Dan.
If I was looking at straight ROI, what makes the most amount of sense, I'm a multiplex person to the max. I will buy a multiplex over a condo any day of the week. Yes, they are more expensive, but it's like buying 3 condo units in one. I paid land transfer once. Yes, it was more expensive, but I paid legal fees once. All of the costs are less, but my return on investment is more. What are the chances that if my tenant is gone, that the other 2 tenants are also gone? Someone is always paying a portion of my bills as opposed to 100% your cost. With a condo investment, it's 100% your cost, or with a single family home too, if you're buying those as an investment, 100% your cost if it's vacant, if the tenant doesn't pay. So that's something to look at. Now, because of the way the market is in this current day and age, if you can find something at 700 to 900 a square foot, I wouldn't even be flinching. I'd be like, find an amazing opportunity, get in a great building, get an amazing layout, and just ride the wave.
So let me ask you this then. I know personally multiple people that have more money than God, okay? And these are people that do different investments. They're from different walks of life, different professions, but they all like real estate. And they all like investing in real estate, and that's their choice in life. The 3 that I'm thinking of right now, when they have the capital and everything, what are they doing? They're just buying resale condos more and more and more. And you read in the paper and they say, it's a horrible investment right now. It's not carrying itself. You're going to buy it. You're going to get a mortgage for X amount, and it's not floating it, but yet they're doing it in this market, and they're very persistent about it. Why are they doing this, Elena?
They're doing it for a specific reason, replace value. So how much does it cost to actually build that unit? And if you're buying it for less than it would actually cost to build it, you have a solid investment because they can't build for that cost, which means you will make money. There's no question about it.
All three have said this, by the way. And we didn't
Did I hit the
this.
nail on that?
Right on the head.
Yeah, it's replacement cost. I talk about this all the time.
Yes.
And the reason why I say if you can buy a condo from 700 to 900 a square foot, you're winning is because it costs more to build it. So if you're buying it at a price that you could not replace it, you can't rebuild it. And the same applies to some houses in certain pockets. The cost to buy it is not the replacement cost. If they tore it down and had to rebuild that same house, how much would it cost? If it costs more than what you paid for, you won. Like, you're winning.
Yeah. And I've done the math with a couple of investors because, they say in the media that you're going to rent out and based on current rental rates and based on the mortgage rates, these investment condos are not floating themselves. It's a bad investment. But if you do the actual math, in most cases, yes, it's not floating the full amount of the mortgage, but it's floating the interest portion of the mortgage. So when you have to put money in every month because it's not floating the total amount, you're putting the principal amount. That's not so bad. It's covering the common expenses, the taxes, the interest on the mortgage. They're still kind of floating themselves. Sorry.
Look, as long as it's like, and I say this take it with a grain of salt, everyone's budget is different, but 50 to almost $200 a month, if you're kicking in to your investment, I don't think it's the end of the world. And also negative cash flow is a good thing if you're in certain tax brackets because you're writing off the loss. So there's a lot of different types of investments out there right now, whether you choose a condo or you choose a house, it really doesn't matter. It's just lifestyle and risk appetite. Like, what are you willing to do?
The thing that a lot of first-time buyers that want to get into the market and they're saying, based on my price point, a condo is more realistic. One of the first things I tell them, when you go to see the unit, go to see the parking and the locker. It's amazing how many realtors will go and show clients to condos, never take them to the parking or locker, have no clue where it's located, what the story is. Then I'm the one who gets the call the day after closing. Oh, my car doesn't fit at the end. Oh, I saw the locker. There's a lot of dust everywhere. It's an open cage. People can see into my locker. This is not good. And I look back and say, you went to buy this, but you didn't look at it. What would you like me to do?
So the conversation I have with clients is it the deal breaker? If your parking spot is weird, if your locker is the smallest locker, will that be the reason you don't buy this condo? And if the answer is yes, then we go see it. But if the answer is no, you need a parking spot, your car is normal size, it should fit. Okay, we want to walk around it, we can. You want to go to the locker? We can if they leave us keys. Sometimes they don't leave us keys. But I'm like, put in your head that it is the worst parking spot and put in your head that it's the worst locker. Would you still buy this condo? And if the answer is yes, then the answer is yes. But most of the time, which is really difficult, they don't leave keys.
And even as a lawyer, I've seen this can happen for a house as well. I had a client who called me up before closing, and they're buying a house in Toronto, has a shared driveway. And they said, we went to go try to drive our car to park in the back of the property. The car doesn't fit.
Oh, I make people try that.
And the thing I asked them right away, did your realtor take you through it? Elena, they didn't even look at the back of the property. They didn't walk the whole property. They didn't look at the garage. Scary. And you're going to buy something. It's like going to Kijiji or Marketplace, handing somebody money, grabbing the mystery bag. They're telling you what's in there, and then you look at it when you get home. So in that case, I said to them, it's being advertised as a property that fits a car. Would a Mini, would a Fiat fit? And they're like, yes, it would.
So what I would say is this. When the market was extremely hot, we were in and out in 15 minutes, and you had to make a decision. It was really, really shitty for buyers. We're not in that market anymore. We can go back a second time. We can go back a third time. We can walk around the perimeter. We can book double showings. Like, it's different. It's different. So like right now, there's a luxury. If you are a buyer, take advantage of it. You don't have to jump on any opportunity that's in front of you. You can take your time. Like the amount of times I've sat with clients and been like, do you love it? And they'll be like, I'm like, then why are we even discussing it? You don't love it. Don't buy it.
There's nothing to discuss.
No.
Exactly.
But they're like, but the people that are shopping are still like, oh, wait, are we in a different kind of market? Like, is this going to sell fast? I'm like, it could. Do you love it? And if you love it, then we attempt. If you don't love it, it's not a conversation. We have options. This is the market of options. We can go around, we can look at more options. We can go back again. And like honestly, visiting it a second time changes your perspective on it. Certain things that you missed the first time, you see the second time.
I'm thinking about now about some clients that told me, I couldn't get past the whole thing of having an elevator. I used to park in my driveway, take my groceries, have them in my house in 3 seconds. Now I have to go drive into the underground, got to go pull my stuff, go through the elevator. But then when it's wintertime, it's so nice not to have to shovel my driveway. We have a heated ramp. Life is good. There's a lot of easiness of life. One of the things are, if you're a person who's not very handy and you're a person that doesn't spend a lot of time at home and you don't want to think about it, condo is pretty easy living versus a house that way.
100%. But now because you mentioned the whole elevator, driving, I'm going to do a little tip now.
Sure.
If you're buying a condo, check to make sure what kind of parking it has. Like, is it a ramp going down or is it elevators going down? Because elevators, just like they do in regular buildings, when you're trying to get to your unit, they break every once in a while. They break in the car elevators as well. So if you are someone that goes to work every morning, if the elevator's broken, how are you going to get to work? And start budgeting things like that, because that's something that could be your deal breaker on why you don't want that specific condo, is it has an elevator to the parking.
You've obviously seen these units. There's not a lot of them in the GTA, but you bring your car, you start driving it up, and you get to park on like the 4th level, and you're literally parked outside your unit. Freak me out. Like, you just open your front door and there's your car. Like,
I love that.
it's kind of cool.
I love that.
It's different. Like, I've seen the ones in Miami.
Groceries, so easy.
Like, if you live in Miami, they do the ramp up with the elevator, and then you have the glass, and it's kind of cool. But like you said, if your car is stuck up there and that elevator is broken that day, your car ain't going nowhere.
Yep.
So now, as a realtor, and for the realtors listening out there, when you're going to stage a property, so you have a new client, they want to sell their property, it's a condo, it's a house, is there different staging considerations for house versus condo?
Not really. It's more size of furniture. But other than size, like only certain types of couches can fit in a condo, only certain type of couches are good for a home. There's nothing different. The only difference is booking elevators. So on the realtor side, like, you got to book elevators and go through property management. On a house, it's kind of like Tuesday we want to stage, Tuesday we can stage.
Why is it that there's so many condos out there with different rules on open houses and showings and lock boxes? It seems like there's a free-for-all. How you found that as a realtor?
Okay. Well, you're asking me a couple. Let's start with the lockbox situation. I honestly think everyone should have this uniformed, and every building should have them inside, and they should be at concierge. And if they're not at concierge, there should be a way to access it that's in like a vestibule area or something in between, where you're not in the snow and it doesn't get frozen over. Like, there should be an easier way to do lockboxes. There's this whole key cafe thing. Also, I'm not the biggest fan of, because agents for some reason can't follow instructions properly. So like, you take out the key, you're supposed to close the door, then you use the key, then you come back, you punch in the code, you put the key back in, then you close the door.
Seems pretty simple to me.
It seems simple.
Right.
But there's certain buildings that can only use that. And the amount of times that I've had an agent take out the key, leave the door open, go do the showing, go put it back, close the door. The system doesn't register that the key was returned. So then the next agent goes to see it, and we get a call saying the key is missing. Well, the other agent says it was put back. Then we have to call them back. Can you please open that key to make sure that it's there? Like,
Unreal.
This lockbox situation, like, I don't know what is a better solution for it, but it is crazy. The whole open house stuff and how some buildings allow it and some buildings don't, I get it. If I lived in a building, or when I lived in a building, and there's people constantly coming in and out, and for security purposes, it's shitty having random people come in and out of your building on Saturday and Sunday.
Yes.
It is shitty. What I would also say is this, though. You live in the building, it's your investment. You want that unit next to you to sell for the most amount of money possible. Do not do anything that hinders their ability to get the most amount of money, because if you do, your property value goes down. They want to open house it, let them open house it. They want to bring everyone in, let them bring everyone in. Let them get the highest price possible, because it will affect your value. If no one can come in and see it, we don't allow open houses. The building is so strict, we can't find the keys. They don't. How do you sell the property? And then when you go to sell, how are you going to sell it? I think if the building wants to put in rules, it shouldn't be no open house. It should be open house with 2 agents. Someone stays in the lobby, someone stays upstairs. You're walking the people up. That's appropriate. It keeps everyone safe. I do not believe any building should have a no open house policy.
I've seen one where the owner has to hire security through the condo corp. They have to pay for it. And then that security person's there manning the open house. That could work too. There are solutions.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But again, make it possible for people to sell real estate or sell in that building. Because if you don't, it does affect you. Like the owners don't realize how much it does affect them.
So last question, I'm going to bring back next week because we just raised the surface now on real estate. So finishing off on houses versus condos, I wanted to ask you, if you waved your magic wand and you foresaw what's going to be in the next 5 years, what do you see as being the next thing for real estate investing? Where do you think that real estate investors, savvy real estate investors in the GTA, when they want to park their money in 5 years, God willing, the economy is booming, everybody's happy, where do you see it going?
Look, I don't have the crystal ball. I can't tell you where I see it in 5 years, but I can say this.
Yes.
Developers aren't building and home flippers aren't flipping. So what's happening with inventory? They are buying homes still and they're renovating them into multiplexes and they're renting them out, but they're not flipping them. It's not re-entering the market. Developers aren't willing to build anymore because they're not making any money building. So we don't have a housing problem right now. We have inventory.
Yes.
Do I predict we won't have inventory in a few years from now? Yes. We won't have inventory. Would have absorbed it all. And when someone absorbs inventory and doesn't release any inventory into the market, there's no new products coming.
To me, that means just prices are going to go up. If there's no supply and there's that demand.
Look, eventually, I'm not going to tell people we're hitting 2021. I'm not going to say that because I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't have the crystal ball. But supply and demand in any market, in any industry, in any product, if there's so much demand and there's not enough supply, what happens? And there will be a supply issue. That much we know.
Agreed.
So only time will tell where we'll end up.
Stay tuned for next week. We're going to be talking with Elena Saradidis of the Saradidis real estate team. And we're going to be talking more real estate. And I got some rapid fire questions for you. So stay tuned. Chosen Life Podcast.